Hey everybody. Already been getting comments from people just asking me to share my thoughts on what I think most people have heard about by now, the murder of Charlie Kirk at an event today. Just up front, I gotta say, for those who don't already know me, I'm a historian, I'm a Christian, I am a center-right conservative, though I'm not what you would describe as MAGA. I'm not a Trump supporter, didn't vote for Donald Trump, and have been pretty vocal in my opposition to some of the rhetoric that I've seen come out of Donald Trump and others. So I'm saying all that up front. I could also say that really not all that familiar with Charlie Kirk. Most of what I know about Charlie Kirk I've learned in the last couple of hours. He wasn't somebody I ever really followed. My daughter knew a lot more about him than I do. Of course, she's 20 years old. She's of that generation. But I do know people who knew him. I have a common friend with Charlie Kirk, somebody who spent some time with him and spoke very highly of him today on social media and sharing his thoughts on what was happening. And it's a person that I respect a lot. So I say all of that to say that I'm not coming at this from a place of being someone who would traditionally be someone who would follow the likes of Charlie Kirk and ideologically necessarily always agree with him. But I share this because before Charlie Kirk, we had, of course, just a couple of months ago, we had the murder of someone on the left in Minnesota, and a couple of people were shot there, politicians. And before that, we had Donald Trump in an attempted assassination, and we had Steve Scalise. And, of course, we've had the Kennedy assassinations and Martin Luther King Jr. and all the other times that this has happened in our history. And I guess all I want to say is, man, we need to all just take a deep breath. I've been blocking a lot of people on social media this afternoon, a lot of people on the left who are celebrating this. Celebrating the murder of a guy in his early 30s who had a wife and young children, who by all accounts was somebody who invited dialogue and discussion, even if he had strong, sometimes controversial opinions on topics. He was not somebody who ever advocated for violence or for shutting down the speech of the other side. In fact, he encouraged dialogue, which is what we really need to be encouraging right now. And we don't need to be saying, well, yeah, we need to encourage dialogue, except for, and then name something you don't like that the other side says. No. People need to be able to express their political beliefs safely. And I want to applaud the number of very prominent people on the left who, even before it was announced that Charlie Kirk had died, who were speaking very strongly about this. I saw things from Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders and a lot of other people on the left, and that's what we need to be doing. And when this happened to someone on the left, it needed to be said, as it was, by many people on the right. And don't fool yourself. I saw some other things too. I saw a lot of people saying to me, well, the left is evil and this is how they act. No. Extremists can be evil, and there are extremists on both sides. Don't kid yourself. If this happened to a prominent young person on the left who was advocating for for progressive ideas, there would be sick, evil people on the right celebrating it. It happens like that, and there's no place for that at all. You don't have to agree with Charlie Kirk or what he stood for to be horrified by this. And we all need to take a step back. And I'm greatly concerned that we are going down a very dark road as a country. I saw just now in the House of Representatives, there was a moment of silence that was very respectful. And then it was immediately followed by shouting and disrespect coming from people on both sides. And I'm really worried that, I hope that this is not the case, but I'm worried we have reached some kind of that this is one of those moments that we're going to look back on someday and say, oh my gosh, that was the beginning of it getting worse. And I fear that this is going to radicalize more people, and then it's going to radicalize people on the right who are going to say, you know what, they're killing our people, we need to get revenge. I hope that's not the case, and I hope that very quickly they catch this person and we can have a fair but public trial of this person, and we can see that people like this are brought to justice for this stuff. Unfortunately, I saw the video of Charlie Kirk, and I knew even before they said he was dead, while I prayed that he would survive, it did not look like the kind of thing you survive. And sadly, that was the case. And honestly, all I could think of was the Kennedy assassination, because other than John F. Kennedy, I don't know that I've ever seen something like that. And I wish I hadn't seen it. I wish I didn't have to see it. I wish his kids didn't have to see that. I wish his kids didn't have to grow up without a dad, that his wife didn't have to grow up without a husband. And you know what? I feel the same way about the kids in school shootings and the people who die in violence every day in this country, and the people who are killed by drunk drivers, and the people who were murdered in Minnesota, the politicians. And we live in a broken, dark, fallen world. And putting on my Christian hat for a minute, that's the world that has always been. And for me personally, I'm glad that I know that Charlie Kirk was a Christian. I believe with every fiber of my being that he's in the presence of the Lord right now. And I'm praying a lot for our country right now, for people on the left, for people on the right. Listen, people on the left, I don't always agree with you, but I'm glad you're a part of our country. I'm glad that your ideas are a part of our country. I'm glad that your candidates and your politicians are a part of our country. MAGA people, who I also don't agree with, I'm glad that you have strong ideals and that you're fighting for those. All of us, let's do this in a civil way. Let's dial back the rhetoric. President Trump, let's dial back the rhetoric, please. People on the left, let's dial it back, okay? Let's disagree passionately, but let's stop with the accusations and the hateful comments and the stupid memes that basically make light of very serious topics. And it happens. Gavin Newsom does it, and Donald Trump does it, and lots of other people do it, and it needs to stop. We need to return to civility and to respectful but strong disagreement, and we need to argue in the ballot box, and we need to argue on the floor of Congress, and we need to protest and stand for what we believe in. And we need to say, you know what, I don't agree with you, but you're an American just like me. You love this country just like me. We just happen to have different views of what that looks like. Saying people on the other side, they hate America. No, that doesn't help. People on the other side, they're a threat to America. No, let's stop that. Even if you think that, there's a time and place for that, and we just need to dial it back. Please, for the sake of Charlie Kirk, for the sake of the politicians, I'm sorry I don't remember their names in Minnesota, and the people who have died in every act of political violence in our history, let's dial it back, please. This is not a time for ratcheting up the violence. This is not a time for escalating the rhetoric. Let's chill, please. I guess that's all I have to say. I didn't really prepare anything. Be safe out there, everybody. Left, right, center. Be safe. Be safe, be smart, be civil. Let's love each other, even if we can't like each other. All right, thanks.